So the first day, we actually just introduced the students to the temperature sensor. So we showed them where to plug it into the computer, how to go to the terminal and load the software that was free to download off the internet that worked with the sensor on the EXO. I introduced the students to the user interface of the software and how it worked with the temperature sensor. Once the program loaded, everything was recorded in Celsius. Fifth graders are not used to measuring anything in Celsius. Fifth graders in the United States aren't. So we learned how to change the unit to Fahrenheit. Next, we went to the graph tab on the user interface, and I asked the students to take the temperature sensor and place it into one of their partner's hands in their group. The temperature sensors work best if you do not close your hand around the sensor probe, but actually just place it in your hand. And then I asked them to start collecting data on that for 15 seconds and see what happens. So all the students are really amazed that they can get real-time feedback on what they were measuring. So I asked them what the trend of the data was, and they said it was increasing over time. And then I said, all right, switch partners. Now measure the temperature of your other partner's hand. So they did that again for 15 seconds. And then the students actually compared the data to each other. And they said, oh, I was actually hotter than you were, or this is what my temperature probe said, this is what yours said. So it was really neat. I don't think the temperature probes had time to equilibrate, but it was a nice introduction activity to how to use the probes. So next, the students went on a coffee walk. So for the coffee walk, there was 4 locations around the school that we asked the kids to go around and measure the temperature of. They had to write down the predicted temperatures that they thought each of the locations would be. So there was the metal on the playground swing, the coffee in the gymnasium, the fish tank in the hallway, and also the water fountain right outside the doorway. There was 2 different paths, and we asked the students to go around and measure the temperature for 15 seconds of each of these locations. After they took the temperature readings, then they had to put in the actual temperatures in the table. So when they came back to the classroom, they switched their laptops with a partner or with the other group, and they looked at their data and tried to figure out the order that the other group went in on their coffee walk. We didn't actually have to tell the kids how they had to figure out where the other person went. We thought there was going to be some questions like, how do I figure out where the other group went? But the kids just actually, they learned, they knew how to find out what the end temperature was of the 15 seconds of the other group's graph, and they said, oh, well, this one says 70 degrees, and so my 70 degrees said that I was at the fish tank, so I think they went to the fish tank first. And they did that for each location and then guessed the path of the other group. And both groups actually did a really good job and found out, they were able to figure out the other group's path.